Welcome. I've been promising for quite a while to do a slow flow class. And so that is what we'll be doing today. My morning classes tend to be on the more activating side, but that doesn't mean you can't do a slow flow in the morning. You can do it any time of the day. It is just as awakening and sometimes even more, because when we're nourishing the body, when we're grounding, we are refueling, really. So you can have this as a before bedtime routine, a midday break, or even a morning awakener. We're going to be spending more time closer to the earth. So it's a good idea to have a blanket nearby, folded towels or cushion or something like that for you to sit on and for you to pad the lower body. I've put some candles nearby just to set the mood. But yeah, anything else, again, a strap, maybe a belt, a tea towel. I've got blocks. We're less likely to use these too much, but who knows? And we're going to start lying down today. So you can head to your mat and take a lay down. Now more than ever, it might be a nice time to get a nice relaxing playlist on. I've included one with this, and hopefully it works well for you. So come to your backs. At the beginning, once you get to your back, you may need a little bit extra. You might have a cushion under your thighs to keep them bent. You might need something under your head. You might need to just hold out here with the knees resting against each other, hands on the abdomen, to settle into your body, to settle into the earth. We'll close our eyes and set the intention to meet our bodies where they're at. As we hold poses a little longer, we do start to feel uncomfortable. Our job here is to really watch what kind of discomfort we're feeling. Is it the kind of discomfort that creates more, that leads to growth, that's life affirming? Or is it a kind that is closing you off, that's contracting, that's causing pain, strain, compression? This week, my theme is embracing our superpowers, celebrating our strengths. And we're reframing a lot of the things that we're thinking about, a lot of the things that we criticize within ourselves, even within others, in our life. And we're reframing them to see the superpower within. One of our superpowers as humans is this innate knowledge, wisdom, deep inside. That contraction you feel when something isn't right. The excitement or expansion that you feel when something is. So throughout the practice, let's really honor this superpower of ours. As you're lying here right now, think about the best choice you've ever made, or something that you know brings more into your life. Connect to that feeling. Watch your breath. Notice where in your body you feel the expansion, the lightness. And just to test it out, what is the opposite of that? Don't remain here too long. But we all know what can make us shrink, contract, pull away, hold, close off. Where do you feel this? What are the signs that something is not working for you? That is a sensation that we're trying to listen to through the practice today. If that's what you're feeling, you back off, you reset. You choose another variation, you add a prop. This is practice in conversing, in relationshiping with ourselves. And really honoring ourselves and using, recognizing, acknowledging our superpowers. Slowly start to hug those knees in towards you. Rock side to side. Take your knees in your hands and press them away from you. Draw them in. Find those spots along the low back that need a little bit of attention. And then maybe start to draw circles with those knees, getting a little bit of a massage all around that lumbar spine, the sacrum, and then the other direction. The other message that we'll keep tuning into is our breath. Our breath is going to tell us a lot about what the body's feeling. So if there's any catches in the breath, if you find yourself holding, that's also usually a sign that we need to reset and come back. Okay, so we're going to keep that right knee in and stretch the left leg out along the mat. It may or may not touch the earth, that's okay. We're just going to experiment a little bit here, drawing that right knee away from you, drawing it towards you. Might be a little bit of a teeter-totter action happening, depending on how tight those hips are. No judgment. And then you find that place that makes your body sigh in relief, that makes something inside say, ah, that's the spot. I'm glad they found it. Hold out there. If you need to readjust, go for it. If you need to draw that knee a little bit closer to the center or a little bit further away, just make sure you're holding in those juicy spots, giving your body what it really likes for a few breaths. And then you're going to take that right knee in the left hand and really slowly start to draw it over to the left. And again, finding any spots along the way. In contrast as well, I do spend a lot of time with alignment in yoga classes. But this class, we're going to focus more on the sensations in the body. I can give you some cues and some clues as to how to make it feel different so you can experiment. But again, let's not focus on our deficiencies, on what could be better, on what we're doing wrong. But let's focus on our ability to tap into that ourselves, our strengths, our sensations, our intuition. Come back to center, hug both knees in, and this time keep the left in and the right leg stretches out across the mat. And then you can draw that knee away, draw it in. I like to make sure that both sides of my waist are fairly long. And then I can really tap in. I can isolate those stretches, the untangling of things in that left hip a little bit more. You can try it out, bringing the knee over to the right a little, the knee out to the left a little. See what your body needs. And then breathe there, take some breaths. Notice where you could be holding on less. And bathe in the relaxation and the softness you're creating. Let's take that knee into the right hand and slowly, ever so slowly, start to tip towards the right. Stopping wherever the body says, oh, interesting. I need that. So that knee may never make it all the way to the floor. It's okay. You're following your breath. You're following your body's cues. And then back to center. We bring both knees in, and this time start to circle them away from each other, drawing a figure 8 with your knees. And then go in the other direction, starting to feel those inner thighs wake up a little bit as well. Beautiful. And we're going to rock and roll or press ourselves up to seated. So here's somewhere where you can grab your cushion or your folded blanket or towel to prop the hips up a little bit so that the pelvis feels neutral and the spine can feel long. Try it out if you haven't before. Try out elevating those hips a little bit, and you'll notice how much more length, how much more you can access your waist and your spine when the knees are lower than the hips. Once we're here 3 times, we reach up and out, and exhale, hands down through the center to the heart. 2 more. Using the breath. And last one, bow to yourself, thumbs at heart center. Feel every single finger pad gently pressing into each other, feeding into the other side. Feel the knuckles in contact. Feel that exchange between the right and left sides. And then slowly look back up, open the eyes, interlace the fingers in front of the heart center. Sorry about that. Frog in the throat. And we'll exhale, press the palms out in front. Inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms high. Exhale, curl it out again. Let's do that 2 more times. Just finding some range of motion in the shoulders. And this time, hold the arms up, uninterlace the fingers, and let the shoulders drop down. Feel like there's a string not only at the top of the head drawing you up to the sky, but at the heart center as well. We'll keep connecting to these strings. It helps us feel that lightness, that expansion. Beautiful. And now bend the elbows out to the side, come to cactus arms. And exhale, press up. Inhale, draw them down. And exhale. Beautiful, 2 more. Just waking up the shoulders. Nice. Bring the arms out to the side in a T, palms facing up. Feel them suspended in the air here. And let's just bring a little bit of movement rotationally to the shoulder joint. One hand flips up, one hand flips back as we rotate the humerus bone and then all the other bones of the arm in the shoulder socket. Just explore here. And then maybe you bend the elbows and you start to wave the body side to side, tapping into the core, moving slow and with the breath, like a belly dancer. Beautiful. 1 more to each side. And then inhale, reach those arms all the way up. Exhale, let them float down. Take hold of the elbows or the forearms behind you. Note which arm is on top. Exhale, let the body fold forward. Feel that gentle pulling along the back body. Not necessarily muscle stretching, but almost more of a fascial stretch. Subtle, slowly loosening, softening that encasement of the body. Come all the way up. And then we're going to switch the position of the arm so the other arm is on top. And I'm even going to switch the position of my legs so that the other foot is in front. And then we do it again. Curl forward. Beautiful. And then come all the way up. Release the arms. Take the hands to the knees and sit tall for a moment. I'm going to take the right hand to the left knee, the left hand behind us. Get nice and tall. Exhale. Twist to the left. And then inhale back to center. Left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. Twist to the right. Inhale back to center. For the next poses, I'm going to take my cushion out from underneath me, but if you just have a folded blanket, it might be okay still. We're going to be taking that right leg, bending it to 90 degrees, but outwards, and then the left foot comes towards that right knee, and we've got another 90-degree angle with the left knee. So this is called a deer pose here. And that right hip, if it's not on the earth, that's okay, because this can be quite strict, quite a stretch for the hips. So to begin with, we're going to lean onto that left hand and create this big semicircle around us with the right. And then we're going to come back through center, creating that semicircle, and then switch to the left hand, come up and over our ear, and swing back around. So we're drawing this bubble around us with our fingertips, flowing with our breath, moving slow so that we can listen to the body, even pausing in those spots where the body says, hey, that's interesting. Let's do one more in each direction. And then come all the way up. We're going to open up that deer a little bit so that there's more distance between the left foot and the right knee, and start to walk yourself forward into some people call this lazy pigeon pose. So we've got that 90-degree angle still with the left leg. The right leg in pigeon is usually straight out behind us, so we get that good hip flexor stretch as well. But here we're just going for that left hip. Fold your body forward. You may need a prop to catch you. A cushion, a pillow, a block, a book, toilet paper rolls, or you might be able to come all the way down onto the elbows. Some of us even can come all the way down to the earth. You let your body decide at which angle you're coming into the pose, and then you release the head and the neck. Keep sending the breath to all the parts that feel like they're getting awakened, activated. So for example, the outer left hip for sure, up even through that hip to the low back on the left side. I feel it down the IT band and even in the inner left thigh. The entire back body as it's curving over is getting a subtle stretch as I breathe and expand into it. Gravity is holding my head and neck, stretching it out. I could even rest my head on my knee or my hands. And then we slowly press up. I'm going to reach that right leg out. Draw the left heel in a little bit more and start to trace a line down my right leg. I'll open up to the side. Inhale, reach my left arm up and over for a nice side stretch here. If your head and neck feel awkward, like they're holding, reset, look down, let the head hang. If that top shoulder feels awkward, you can always take the hand behind the head and let the elbow fall forward, or keep the hand down at the hip. And inhale all the way up. We're going to come into a little more of an active pose. Place that left hand down to the earth. Come up onto the left knee into a modified side plank. Right foot is on the earth. Reach up with that left arm. Maybe even reach over my ear. And I maybe even make 3 big circles in each direction with that right arm. And other direction. Beautiful. Come all the way back down. Stretch the legs out in front. Give them a little shake. Now, other side. So we started in that deer pose. Right knee bends to 90 degrees. Right foot close to that left knee bent to 90 degrees out to the side. Beautiful. So we start leaning on that right hand, sweeping that left arm around, creating that half circle around us, and then back to the left as that right arm comes up and around. Drawing a circle with the fingertips. Creating your own personal bubble here. Taking time and space for yourself to listen, to just flow the way your body feels like flowing right now. We'll do one more in each direction. And then come all the way up. We widen the legs slightly. Make sure those feet are at least alive. We don't want them to start sickling in. And then we take that lazy pigeon where we start to draw the heart over that right leg at whatever angle feels right to you. Getting props if needed, coming all the way down on the elbows or otherwise, and finding a place to let go. And so it's interesting on this side, I'm even feeling it in that left hip, at the back of the left hip. And through that left leg, definitely through the shoulders, and still the right outer hip, the IT band, a little bit on the hamstring, the inner thigh. And then I slowly press myself up, and we're going to draw that left leg out to the side, right heel in towards the pelvis. I start to reach down that left leg with the left hand. I stop where I stop, right hand on the hip, behind the back of the head, supporting that neck, or reaching over. If something doesn't feel right, we reset. Let the body tell us. Keep breathing. Keep softening the lower body into the earth. And then inhale all the way up. Right hand plants onto the earth. We come up onto that right knee, left foot planted on the earth. And either stretch that left arm up to the sky or over the ear, or 3 big circles in each direction here, exploring that left shoulder. And other direction. Beautiful. Come all the way down. And reach both legs out. Give them a little shake. We're going to bend the knees. Bring the feet towards each other. And then let the knees fall out to the sides into a butterfly pose, Badakanasana. Hold on to the ankles. Now, if you feel like you're really curling back, again, closing off that front body, just scoot the heels away from you, or the sit bones back away from the heels a little bit to open that diamond shape so that you can get onto the sit bones. And again, any kind of folded blanket or cushion underneath your sit bones to help tilt that pelvis into a neutral position will really help. When you got a hold of the ankles, you could even do a little bit of fluttering with the knees. For 3, 2, 1, and then come to stillness. Perhaps you stay there, perhaps you start to draw the heart forward, release the head and the neck. In this position too, it's always nice if you have something to catch your forehead. So sometimes I like to bring a block or something between my feet. And then have that to catch me. Release in the area between the ears and the shoulders. Widen the space between the neck and the shoulders. Keep breathing into all 360 degrees of the torso. Beautiful. Slowly come on up and out of that. You can take the block away if you had that. Draw the knees together. Lean back onto the hands and just do some windshield wipers from side to side. Nice. And slowly we're going to make our way over to our hands and knees. Getting into the spine a little bit and using as much movement as your body's asking for. We're going to inhale into our cow and exhale into our cat. So you may just be up here, opening the front body, opening the back body. But you may start to want to bring more into the shoulders by using bending in the elbows. You may shift back and forth, getting more into the hips. You may even do some rotational movements. To get a little bit of a lateral motion. You've got 2 more rounds of breath to explore. Beautiful. And then the knees will widen, the toes will come together. We'll sit those hips back towards the heels and bring the head down to rest on something. Maybe it's a prop, maybe it's your fists, your hands, or all the way to the earth. Child's pose. Let the ground draw you down. Let gravity work on those hips especially. Let your spine naturally lengthen out from the hips. Just drape forward and down. Now, look up at your hands, lift the hips slightly, and we'll come into our shoulder flow. As we inhale, draw the nose forward, elbows out to the side, and press back up to hands and knees. So come back into a kind of a half child's pose, and then draw that nose along your mat and back up. Find some flow here. Beautiful. 2 more rounds of breath to work through that. Nice. Come back up onto hands and knees. And we're going to step the right leg forward into a low lunge here. Now, definitely in a slower class, more than ever, we have this opportunity to really check in and see if we need anything else with us. So either books or toilet paper rolls or cans or blocks to bring our hands up, just so we don't feel like we're really hunching forward or straining that hip. And then again, that back knee, you might need to fold your mat under or put a blanket under that knee for cushion. Walk the back knee back as far as it'll go. Make sure that front knee is right above the front ankle and not beyond it. And we're going to just hold this low lunge here. Feel from the pelvis down, that rooting into the earth. The weight into everything in contact with the floor. So all four corners of the front foot. And then that back shin and top of the foot. And then we're just going to flow here again a little. As we inhale, we're going to shift those hips back. Watch my front foot. I pick the toes up off the floor and draw them towards my nose. And then as I exhale, I bend. So the hands can stay in the same position or they can walk back and forth with you. One more time. And then this time, hold that half split, half Hanuman pose. Draw the right hip back a little bit and draw that heel towards you. Mine even draws along the mat slightly. Get nice and long through the upper body, feel expansive. And if you can find a little fold there. See if you can keep the hips in line, both sides of the waist long. But again, let your body lead you. And then press back up, bend into that front knee. We're going to come a little deeper here, so you might need something to catch you. Bring both hands to the inside edge of that right leg. You might stay here for lizard, just sighing your heart down. You may be able to come down onto one or two elbows on the floor or on a prop. But wherever you are, when you get there, let the head and neck drop. And breathe softness into that hip joint. Slowly press yourself back up and bring that right knee back to meet the left. Reset in either a child's, in a tabletop position or a downward dog. You can do any kind of wiggling you need to. And then that left foot steps forward into our low lunge. We shimmy that right knee back as far as it wants to go. And then we make sure the left knee is right above that left ankle. And then we hold here. Notice my upper body, I'm not putting a lot of emphasis on it. I just want it to be natural and elongated head and neck are an extension of the spine. So they're neither straining to look down or straining to look up, just in line. With every exhale, I imagine my pelvis melting towards the earth and forward a little bit more. That left femur bone nestling into the hip socket as the muscles and connective tissue that stabilize that joint soften. Soft, supple muscles are strong ones. If it's able to relax completely, it can access more contraction, more activation. And then we'll start to flow into our Ardha Hanuman again, drawing those hips back, straightening the front leg, picking the toes up off the floor, and then exhaling, knee bends, we come forward. Moving with the breath, moving through the cricks and the cracks, finding smoothness in the motion. Then after this last one, we hold that hamstring stretch. We hold that Ardha Hanuman. I draw my left heel back a little bit. Hips are in line. And then decide if I can fold deeper over that left leg. The whole back line of the body opening up. And then slowly press back up. Bend that front knee and set up for lizard pose. So both hands come to the inner edge of that left foot, and perhaps we just sigh the heart down and hold here. Maybe we can start to bend the elbows, coming down on one or both, and then letting the head and neck fall. Continuing to soften. Slowly press yourself back up. Extract yourself from that and reset again in a child's, in a puppy pose on all fours, or even a downward facing dog, wiggling it out as needed. And we're slowly going to make our way down to our abdomen. Once you get there, shake out those hips a little. Make sure your head has something to rest on. And we're going to come up onto our elbows for Sphinx. So make sure that the elbows are either under the shoulders or further in front of you. Your arms are parallel, your palms are on the earth. And there's no one part of the spine that should feel more compression, more closure than the others. So imagine a nice long arc from the tailbone up through the top of the head. And the beads on this arc, or the vertebrae, are nice and evenly spaced. The way we'll access that is first let everything melt down towards the earth, and then start to pull yourself forward using the strength of your arms, your shoulders, your hands, and see if you can give yourself some traction to open up the spaces, to take the strain and the pressure off of every vertebra. And then exhale, look down and soften again. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Draw forward and up, and exhale. 1 more flow and we'll hold it up there. Beautiful. And then slowly, let's come all the way down. Wiggle out those hips. You're going to bring the right arm out to the right. Come onto the left fingertips. Pick the left leg up. Reach it over to the right. Broken wing pose. That leg may stay hovering above the ground. You may bend the left knee coming onto the left foot. You may even reach that left arm back behind you. And then slowly back to center. Wiggle it out. And go to the other side, reaching the left arm out beside you. Right fingertips. Pick up that right knee, right leg. Reach it to the right. It may just hang there. You may bend the right knee, bring the foot to the floor. You may even bring that right arm behind. And then slowly release. Come back to center and wiggle it out. Press yourself up into one last child's pose before we come back to our backs, knees apart, toes together, hips sink down. Then we find a place to rest our head, to rest that third eye point. That third eye chakra is linked to that deep wisdom, that huge wealth of wisdom we have within, beyond the things we learn in books, even beyond the experience we pick up in life. That awareness. An overactive third eye chakra can lead to a lot of overthinking and being in the head. But when that is balanced, takes a little bit of all of this, those deep gut feelings, and links it with our wisdom, taking from experience, from knowledge, and from some deep, deep connection to something bigger. Come all the way up and make your way down onto your backs again. If you need to, make sure you have a blanket nearby in case you get chilly. And once you get to your back, you can hug those knees in again. Rock side to side, make some circles. Take the knees in the hands and just keep the legs suspended there, perpendicular to the earth, so that you can feel that sacrum soften into the earth. There's a natural curve at the lumbar spine, allowing just a tiny little puff of air through. And now draw those knees in, bring the feet up towards the sky. You can take hold of the ankles, the outer edges of the feet or the toes for happy baby. And rock side to side here. Eventually you come to stillness. Softening towards the earth. Release those feet, bring them to the earth. If there's anything else that needs to move through your body before Shavasana, go for it. So maybe some windshield wipers, maybe a bridge pose, maybe another twist, or maybe you need to find that final relaxation pose now. You could spread the legs out in front, palms up. You could come into a reclined Badakanasana or cobbler's pose, hands feeding the abdomen or the heart or both. You may come to a legs up the wall pose or a legs draped over the couch pose to let that energy flow reverse and really take a load off of the hips and the back. But wherever you find, close your eyes and let your breath expand you. Let your body receive all the benefits of your practice. What if we weren't always fighting, battling, pushing against something? What if we could find a balance between paddling and then letting the stream carry us? Yes, it's important to continue to grow and challenge ourselves. And yeah, there's some work needed. However, do we have the ratio right? Do we have it correct? Do we hold up our strengths? Do we shine those out enough? Do we give them enough attention? For most of us, if we think about school, we might remember how much time were encouraged to put into fixing our mistakes, or practicing the things that we aren't good at. But what about really nurturing those things that are our superpowers? Did we get to do that? Are we doing that now? Those strengths within us are really the key to our purpose, to how we contribute to the world. And if we're all contributing to our best capacity, instead of fighting those things that we want to be better at, can you imagine how powerful our communities could be? If we're flowing in awareness, letting those feelings of lightness and expansion lead the way. You know those feelings when you are in flow. You're doing something that every cell of your body agrees with. The zones that you can get into. This week, can you spend a little more time paddling with the flow of the river? Push, push, coast. Shining your strengths and your superpowers out for all to see. And following that feeling of lightness, of expansion, of creation. Please stay here in your final relaxation for as long as you possibly can. Enjoy, restore, refuel, and then go out there and be superheroes of your own kind. I thank you so much for joining me in practice today, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Make sure you thank yourself for just rolling around on the ground on your mat for a bit and following those good sensations in the body. The light in me, the superpowers in me, the superhuman in me bows to all the superheroes, superhumans in you. Namaste.